Most people picture kidney problems as something dramatic. Dialysis, transplants, late-stage disease. But kidney damage doesn't start there. It starts quietly, with signals your body is already sending. Signals that are easy to dismiss as stress, aging, or just a bad night's sleep. Today, we're covering 5 early signs of kidney damage. Things that can show up while you still feel mostly fine. And the earlier you catch them, the more options you have. Let's get into it. Sign number 1. Foamy urine. Not the occasional bubbles from a strong stream. That's normal. What we're talking about is persistent foam that sticks around in the bowl, almost like soap suds, and it happens consistently over days or weeks. This can signal that protein is leaking into your urine. Here's why that matters. Your kidneys contain millions of tiny filters called glomeruli. When they're healthy, they keep protein, especially albumin, is in your bloodstream. But when those filters become damaged, they start leaking. Protein slips into the urine, and because protein changes the surface tension of liquid, it creates that foamy appearance. The tricky part? This can happen while you feel completely fine. No pain, no burning, just foam. Now that protein leaking from your kidneys doesn't just make its presence known in the toilet bowl, it can also manifest in a much more visible way, altering your very appearance. This is because the protein being lost, primarily albumin, plays a crucial role in maintaining the fluid balance in your body. It acts like a sponge, keeping water inside your blood vessels. When albumin levels drop, this balance is disrupted. Which brings us to the second early sign of kidney trouble. Mild swelling, also known as edema. This often presents in a distinct pattern. You might notice subtle puffiness around your eyes when you wake up. This happens because when you lie down all night, the excess fluid your body is holding onto redistributes to areas with thin skin like your face. Then, as the day goes on and gravity takes over, that same fluid tends to pool in your lower extremities, leading to slight swelling in your ankles and feet by evening. It's easy to dismiss this. Most people blame a high-salt meal, standing for too long, a hot day, or simply the natural process of getting older. And sometimes those explanations are perfectly valid. But here's a simple self-check. Gently press your thumb into your shin for a few seconds. If it leaves a small pit or indentation that lingers for a moment, that's a sign of what's called pitting edema. This suggests the swelling is due to excess fluid in the tissues, not just temporary puffiness. When kidney function begins to decline, a double whammy occurs. First, the kidneys struggle to filter properly, causing them to retain extra sodium and water. Second, as we've discussed, protein loss through the urine lowers the concentration of albumin in your blood. This combination creates a perfect storm. The excess sodium pulls water into your body, and the low protein in your blood can no longer hold that fluid effectively within the vessels. The result is a slow, steady shift of fluid out of the bloodstream and into the surrounding tissues, causing that persistent swelling. The key is persistence. Pay attention if the puffiness is new, appears without a clear cause, follows this morning to evening pattern, or doesn't fully resolve with rest. It's a subtle clue that your body's intricate fluid management system might be under strain. Sign number 3, more frequent urination at night. If you're waking up once or twice to use the bathroom without drinking extra fluids in the evening, that's worth noting. The medical term is nocturia, and it can be an early functional sign of kidney damage. Here's what's happening. Before the kidneys lose overall filtering capacity, they can lose their ability to concentrate urine properly. The tiny tubules that normally reabsorb water stop working as efficiently. So instead of producing a small amount of concentrated urine overnight, the kidneys produce more dilute urine, which forces you out of bed. It's the kind of change people slowly adjust to, without questioning it. Now, those first 3 signs are things you can physically notice, but the next 2 are different. They're more systemic, easier to miss, and one of them creates a feedback loop that can accelerate kidney damage over time. Now for our 4th sign, a feeling that can be incredibly easy to dismiss or attribute to modern life. It's a persistent, underlying fatigue. This isn't the bone-deep exhaustion you feel after a strenuous workout, nor is it the sudden collapse of energy from a sleepless night. It's more insidious. It's the feeling of waking up already tired, as if your batteries never fully charged overnight. You might notice you're constantly operating at 70 or 80% of your usual capacity. The stairs feel a little steeper, the walk to the shop a bit longer. Your physical stamina is lower, and recovery from minor exertion takes longer than it used to. Mentally, you might struggle with mild difficulty concentrating, losing your train of thought more often. This pervasive tiredness often happens for two interconnected reasons, both stemming from the kidney's reduced function. First, as kidney function declines, they produce less of a vital hormone called erythropoietin, or EPO. EPO is the chemical messenger that signals your bone marrow to produce red blood cells. With less EPO, you make fewer red blood cells, leading to a condition called anemia. This means less oxygen is delivered to your muscles and brain, causing that classic feeling of fatigue. Second, the kidney's primary role is filtration. When they aren't working efficiently, metabolic waste products that would normally be filtered out into urine start to accumulate at low levels in your bloodstream. This combination of mild anemia and a subtle buildup of toxins is a double blow to your system, directly impacting your energy, focus, and overall cognitive sharpness. And this leads to a symptom most people don't associate with kidney health at all: brain fog. This subtle cognitive impairment can appear in the very early stages of kidney disease, long before you might expect any serious symptoms. Researchers believe this is directly related to the low-level toxin accumulation and its effect on the delicate blood vessels within the brain. Crucially, this fatigue and brain fog can manifest even when standard lab values for kidney function are only slightly outside the normal range, making it a vital early clue. That brings us to our fifth sign: elevated blood pressure. We don't mean a random spike after a stressful day, but a consistent upward trend in your readings. New onset high blood pressure or hypertension that becomes harder to control can be one of the earliest indicators of underlying kidney damage. This is especially critical for those with risk factors like diabetes or a family history of kidney disease. So, how does this happen? As kidneys lose function, they mistakenly sense a drop in blood flow and activate a powerful hormonal cascade called the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, or RAS. This system constricts blood vessels and tells the kidneys to retain more sodium and water. The result? More fluid is pushed through narrower pipes and your blood pressure rises. But here's where it becomes a self-perpetuating problem: that newly elevated blood pressure exerts force on the delicate blood vessels within the kidneys themselves, physically damaging them. This leads to more kidney damage, which causes the kidneys to release more renin, pushing blood pressure even higher. It's a destructive feedback loop where kidney damage and hypertension fuel each other. Add high blood sugar to this mix, and the damage accelerates dramatically as glucose acts as a direct toxin to the kidney's filtration units. This is why kidney health, blood pressure, and blood sugar are so deeply interconnected. A problem in one area almost invariably puts stress on the other two. So to recap: foamy urine, mild swelling, nighttime urination, persistent fatigue, and rising blood pressure. 5 signals your body may be sending before anything feels seriously wrong. If any of these resonate, basic lab work can provide clarity. Tests like serum creatinine, estimated GFR, and a urine albumin-to-creatinine ratio can detect changes early, sometimes years before symptoms become obvious. Thanks for watching, and remember, life's better with a healthy buzz.